Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I have another box to open. I can almost always tell that a box is from Kyle if it's in a FedEx box, because he ships FedEx every single time from work. And so in here there is a loaner knife that I sent to Kyle, which was kind of a funny story. To tell it very quickly, I sent him my Microtech stitch to check out because of all the knives I've reviewed recently, I thought it was going to be the knife that he would like the most. And turns out he loves the stitch. The funny thing is, while my stitch was in transit to him, I hadn't told him what I was sending him. I just said, hey, I'm sending you something. While it was in transit to him, I saw him post an unboxing video that somebody else had loaned him a stitch. So he reviewed theirs, and as soon as mine got to him, which was delayed and took a while, as soon as it got to him, he boxed it up and sent it in here. But then he also sent me a loaner. So we are going to be checking out a Spartan knife that I have not checked out before, and I'm really excited to because I've heard good things and I've been curious about it for a while. So some bubble wrap. I think that's his knife. And here, that's the box I sent him. Why does this feel way too heavy? What's going on in here? Alright, hold on. Oh, I forgot. There's more loaners in here. I'm a crazy person. Alright, I'm like, why are there so many knives in here? So, first things first. This is a CJRB. Let's do those in a second. CJRB. Perfect. This is probably my stitch that he just put in this Ganzo box. Totally, yeah. Okay, so here's my stitch. I have missed this knife. I think I sent it to him in that box, actually. I'm way out of whack on what's in here. But here's my Microtech stitch, which is returned. I am grateful to have this knife back because I missed it. I freaking love this knife. It is so much fun. Alright, there's my stitch. I did send it to him in that. Anyways, in here we have the Spartan knife, and then there are two modded CJRB knives, or as Kyle likes to call them, CRJB knives, which is wrong, and Kevin and I tell him every time. I say Kevin because these are actually Kevin's knives that he loaned to Kyle to check out. I know I say Kyle and Kevin a lot. That's going to keep happening. We're good buddies. We loan each other stuff quite frequently. So Kevin sent these knives to BJ Hill, or as Kyle likes to call him, JB Hill. Anyways, BJ Hill from Hilltop Knives and Gear, I think is what it's called. He does a bunch of knife modding. And so Kevin sent him one of his CJRB Feldspars, and I believe this was the one that he sent to him first to have modded. And then, because it went so well, he sent him another. So this is the small Feldspar, I think. I've actually never handled a Feldspar. I believe this is the small one based on the proportions I remember them being on paper. So BJ turned these scales purple. He anodized all of the hardware bronze, the pivot collars, the screws, I guess except for the pivot screw itself, but that's probably a good thing because it makes the pivot collar stand out. And then he added this hole for deployment, which Kevin is a lefty. So imagine being a lefty, which this is set up right now to be a lefty. This will give you awesome Spidey flick ability because of the way that this is cut out. So you can see right here you've got awesome hole access. For a righty, it's a little bit restricted. Let's see. Oh, that still works for me. I feel like I remember Kyle having a real hard time with it. But for me, if I get my nail in there, oh, it's a little bit less than ideal. But it can be done, obviously. So that is sweet. He also, of course, changed this blade finish. So it's acid etched, and then it looks to be tumbled or stone washed. It's got a great looking mirror edge on there. Very sharp. Yeah, that is an awesome edge. Looks like even the liner lock got stone washed internally, unless I'm crazy and I'm seeing things. Very, very cool. So this is the small Feldspar. And then he also did, let me put this in here so I don't lose it. Bear with me here. Got it. This is the large Feldspar, I believe. You can tell it belongs to LeftyEDC because somebody put Lefty on there. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so this has had basically the same exact treatment, but it's a big one. So this purple does look a little different to me. It looks a little bit more like blurple-ish compared to this one. It's a little bit lighter. but purple scales, bronzed hardware. That all looks good to me. And then again, hole access is going to be better if you are a lefty, but I can use that as a thumb hole, and I can spidey flick it. Not the best access ever, but it works. This G10 feels really good. I don't know if it's contoured this well from factory or if that's a mod as well. If it's contoured this well from factory, I'm impressed. I've heard a lot of good things about the Feldspars, both large and small, and so kind of excited to be checking them out. I'm extra excited that they're modded like this because these are a little extra sweet. Purple isn't really my color of choice, I'll say that, but these do look really cool. Nice and on center. Sweet, so we've got the big guy and the little guy, both CJRB Feldspars from BJ Hill, from Kevin, from Kyle. So BJ Hill did the mods. These are Kevin's knives that came to me through Kyle because Kyle just reviewed them. That makes sense. Alright, those are sweet. I'll be reviewing those probably kind of as a set. I don't plan to really like carry and use them much, but I'll do like an overview video, I think. Let's see. Alright, that box is ready. Now, this is what I'm most excited about in the package because I really like Spartan knives, and I have wanted to try out this model from them for a while. In fact, I almost bought one on the secondary, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago now. Trade deal just, or the deal just didn't quite go through. I think it was a partial trade or something. Anyways, I ended up not going after it, and I've kind of regretted that because I've heard so many good things about the knife since. But this is the Spartan Pallas. I think it's called Pallas. It might be Payless. I feel like that's how Kyle says it, but that just makes me think of Payless shoes. Anyways, I think it's Pallas because it's spelled P-A-L-L-A-S. And this is Spartan's button lock flipper with thumb studs. And you can see it looks very Spartan knives. The Spartans that I have experienced so far have been the Harsey folder, and I really like the Harsey folder. In fact, I just had, you probably recently saw, I unboxed a Damascus blade, like kind of dragon scaled Spartan Harsey folder that I partially traded, partially bought. I ended up trading that knife. So tonight I'm unboxing the knife that I traded that knife for, which will be interesting. You'll see that soon, or maybe before this, depending on chronologically how these go up. Anyways, that knife was awesome, but I didn't love the dragon scales, and I'll probably end up getting another Spartan Harsey folder eventually in just a more perfect spec for me. Anyways, this is cool. I have heard that, I feel like Curtis over at Spartan Knives told me that this knife actually isn't designed to be a flipper, although it works as one, although that does feel soft. Like, I gotta get that right. I feel like that's pretty easy to fail. But why that tab is there is actually because it's designed to be thumb stud opening, which feels way better. I can say that definitively. And it's really meant to be a guard that comes down because this is kind of a tactical knife. Spartan makes tactical knives. And so I do like the idea of having a little bit of extra guard there, if that is what this knife is designed for. This knife feels really different from the Harsey folder, though. I don't know if this is an internal design or who designed this one. This might just be a Spartan kind of in-house design, because I don't see, like on the Harsey folder, you get Bill Harsey's signature on it. Anyways, yeah, this feels still very much true to who they are in my head, but this is different. I like this a lot. This spine is really well crowned and just rounded nicely. The jimping here is nice and not too aggressive at all. The jimping all over the knife is less aggressive than the Spartan Harsey folder feels. And of course it is a button lock, and that, with that much blade in there, that feels sweet. I like having it on studs too. Let's see if I can middle finger flick it. Oh yeah, that works real well. So this is sweet. I am really looking forward to reviewing this knife. It's so my current favorite button lock folder is the Malibu by a mile. I love the Malibu. This feels really different from a Malibu. Obviously they're made by different people, but both have aluminum scales, both are button locks, both run on bearings. So it's interesting how different this one feels, because it's not tuned for the flipper. That flipper feels really soft, whereas this thumb stud, that feels sweet. So interesting to have a button lock that's really kind of designed to deploy a different way. Cool, cool, cool. So I'll have a link down below to Kyle, because he's the one who sent me this, and this package came from him. So DTOM Knives and Gear will be linked down below. I will also link to LeftyEDC. There's the reason why I have these. These are his knives, so you'll see his channel linked down below. And then I'll also link to BJ Hill's channel, because BJ Hill is the one who did those mods on those CJRBs. So a bunch of links down below. All cool dudes. I actually don't personally know BJ Hill. I may have talked to him once or twice, like DMing or something, but I should probably change that. I hear a lot of good things about the work that he does, and seems like a cool dude. I've watched some of his videos before, so he'll be linked down below as well, since he did that mod work, and from what I can tell, looks really nice. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you for watching as always, and I will see you on the next one.